Hey, how's it going? I hope you guys are staying cool and hydrated because it is hot. It is hot outside where I'm from. And I apologize for the lack of uploads throughout the weeks. I don't have a dedicated work or upload schedule. I've just been making videos whenever I feel like it. And I know this isn't a great mindset to have, but I reached the point of saying fuck it, and I'm just gonna be doing my own shit and not care about numbers. Anywho, originally I was gonna talk about the apostles, the extraterrestrial demigods in the world of DFO, but I found this to be quite the undertaking as individual apostles have lore ranging from short to big. So I eventually scrapped it and torched it. Instead, we're gonna be talking about the knights, or as I like to call them, Carloso and his legion of pink-haired simps. Dominic, this is for you, my man. Enjoy. So to go over this again as quickly as possible, knights are avatars from being known as Nimir the Enlightened. She is the share of wisdom and has the vast knowledge of the multiverse known as planes. She then created them in her own image and tasked them to find the fragments of Colosso, the creator god, and the great will of the universe that was scattered throughout these planes. Now these girls may look different and hail from different places, but their origins are the same. If there's any traces of the great will, then these girls will dive in, no hesitation, guided with the beliefs that Carloso may bring about peace onto the world once more.
그럼 다녀오겠습니다.
Hailing from plain peace, a parallel universe of absolute harmony and, well, peace, the fairies resided in Grand Forest and protected their homes from those who threatened it. But one day, out of nowhere, the Empire suddenly came in knocking on their door with overwhelming forces, gave the fairies no time to react, and as a result suffered crushing losses, and one slush green forest was entirely engulfed in flames. Needless to say, not all the Empire's forces were on board with what they did and soon led to an internal strife. The resistance was led by a man named Crowell, who formed an alliance with the fairies and launched their counterattack, in which the ensuing war lasted for 30 years. But it ended with the fairies and their allies emerging victorious. The former emperor executed and Crowell took up the mantle. He offered the fairies compensations, but they simply refused and returned quietly back to their forest. This didn't really mean that the two races broke contact, far from it, as there were some fairies who learned the use of sword and shield. They were dubbed the Elven Knights. After the war, these knights volunteered to be the messengers of peace, and thus many races were able to put aside their hatred and misunderstandings of the past, and they lived happily ever after. The end. A simple one in terms of lore, hailing from plain demon, this place is a complete 180 from plain peace. The Chaos Knights are a demon hybrid born from demons and pandemoniums. These knights have the unique ability to summon familiars to do their bidding. But this is a complete power game, as the minions will quickly turn and kill their masters if they show any signs of weakness or hesitation. Kinda like soulbenders. These girls are cruel enough to attain victory by any means necessary, and won't even hesitate to sacrifice their allies for it. Hailing from plain Dragonia, ruled by the former apostle Bakal, the king of dragons, from the Imperium all the way down to Arad, he brought every living creature to his submission. Under his absolute rule, everything was prosperous and stable and dragons ruled over everything. But this did not last long, as Bakal got a little too greedy and decided that he would rule over every dimension. Plus, the guy was completely oblivious to the fact that everybody hated him, as his so-called utopia was built on top of pain and suffering of others. So to achieve his dimensional conquest, Bakal went to the Dark Elves to open up a dimensional portal where they trick him via giving him the wrong coordinates, and boom! Cosmic horror levels of invasion happens. The Dragon Knights, Bakal's elite fighters, drives him back, but just barely. The damage was done at this point. The losses were too great. As a result, Bakal lost his power and got iced. And so did many of his dragon maids, as they too couldn't fight the changes happening around them. Chaos and Civil War started to pop up like popcorn. The remaining dragon maids... Dragon maids. The remaining knights realized what was happening and decided that they will no longer fight for a single tyrant, but instead protect their own banner, make amends for their past sins, and fight back against future oppressors. Hailing from Plain Angelica, this parallel world is where Apostle Michaela and his Holy Order succeeding in driving back Apostle Ozma, the god of chaos. However, instead of destroying him, Michaela comes up with a plan to seal Ozma inside of an Archangel. This would completely purify the corrupting energy, thereby removing Ozma's influence from the world. But this was a big gamble which the Order wasn't down with. Michaela does it anyway, thus completely sealing both the Saint and the god of chaos inside Michael, the Archangel. In the end, the ritual succeeded and everything was purified. They did this with every apostle that followed, sealing them inside the 7 archangels as well. 1,000 years go by and the archangels are searching for traces of Colosso but have trouble looking for him. So they eventually lend their powers to the guardian angels known as Lightbringers. With the faith of God in their mission, they leap forth to the vast multiverse to find their lord. Hey all, welcome to the end of the video. I hope you guys had a great time going over the lore as usual. Knight isn't really my favorite class, but I know there are fans out there, mostly due to her chest. Lately I've been thinking about this. I've been making an awful lot of DNF Duel, DFO related content. While it is my favorite game, I kind of worry that this is all I put out, and I kind of worry that people get sick of it, and I'm kind of curious now that I have a sizable audience. I just want to hear you guys' opinions. What do you guys think? Should I, maybe dial it back, or do I keep going? But anyways, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit comment, hit subscribe, give me a comment, and ring that bell. The YouTube, usual YouTube jazz. This is so scuffed. This entire video was a process and a half, as I had to redo the entire recording for Lightbringer. That was a process and a half. That was really fun to do. But anyways, I hope you guys had fun. Thank you all, and have a good day.